Welcome back to more Cardinals. And we have an injury that needs to be addressed. Raynoch Thompson got injured, I think in the last video or the one before, and he will be gone for the rest of the season. I think he broke his leg, perhaps. Could probably go back and see. But this section here I included so we could see our free agency pickup that I got. I picked up Lee Woodall. He's an 8-year veteran. He was only like $1 million, I think, for the rest of the season, essentially. And I think that will come off. But regardless, he's about as good as Raynoch Thompson was. So I think he'll be just fine replacement-wise for the time being, as we kind of try and keep everything together for a potential postseason push, which is still somewhat in the process. We had a rough couple games coming out of our bye week. It's been a little difficult. We found ways to lose games that we definitely should not have, and so we have to look ahead here as we go off here and see what we got him on. Just a $900K salary. That's nothing. It's pennies here. We got almost $11 million in cap space to work with, which is nice to know heading down the stretch of the season, looking towards the offseason. But we still got football to play for the rest of this season, as we are currently on a 3-game losing streak. We're looking to bounce back here against my favorite team, the Detroit Lions, who is one of the few teams on our schedule in this first season here that, at least by the numbers, is on par with where we are as a team, even though we've played kind of better than that, and even worse than that at times. But, yeah, the Lions, normally I do a little bit of just looking up and research for the teams coming into these videos, but I'm just going to speak all from the heart and from my my blackened memory that I try to forget, but I cannot. So, the Lions come into this video, or into the season, rather, kind of capping off a dominant 90s that they had, of course, with Barry Sanders, where they would go to the postseason a few times, getting their one postseason victory in franchise history, in the Super Bowl era. And they capped off the 90s in 2000 with a pretty decent season. They finished 9-7, but with the weird league alignment and stuff, it wasn't good enough to get them to the postseason. So that kind of launched them into their long rebuild, which is now centered around that guy, Joey Harrington, is the Lions', I guess, big hope for the future, at least at the quarterback position. As we know, in real life, it wouldn't work out that well, and a few years later, they would re-hit the draft for a new franchise QB, and they would find it Matthew Stafford. But this is a different timeline in which Matthew Stafford does not exist. He's not real. All we have is Joey Harrington. So perhaps a young rookie Joey Harrington can add another loss to our season, which started off on a really good note, but it has since kind of begun to falter. So we really have to play kind of strong here. As you see in our division, we are knotted up in essentially a 3-way tie with Seattle and San Fran, who have gotten it together, to put it lightly. They've gotten it together and have caught up to us, and the Rams are beginning to kind of run away with it. I think with a loss today, I think they'd probably clinch the division. I'm not too sure, but we still have a window here as we set up on offense and try and get something done against the Lions defense early on a short run to the right side that doesn't go for much. On 2nd and 7, Plummer's going to drop back and see what he has downfield, and he's going to throw one deep out to Sanders across the middle, who hauls it in, and we have a first down. Already moving quick here. Jake Plummer's had a pretty solid season here. 1st and 10 now in Lions territory. We throw it off to Jones again, who stumbles and breaks off a couple tackles and finds some open room up to the first down marker before he's brought down. That's one of the things I've enjoyed about Thomas Jones this year, is he's been able to kind of extend plays a bit. Not too much, I'm sure his break tackle and power is not that great, but, in plays like that, I really don't take those for granted. So 1st and 10 again, we're working deep in Lion territory. Out of the flats, we find Jones again, who falls by about the 25-yard line, the Lions' 25-yard line. So on 2nd and short, what can we do here to try and get the rest of this? We drop all the way back, flip it into the end zone to a whole mess of traffic, but there is a yellow hanky, and our right tackle, Mr. Clement, was caught for a grievous clipping call here. And so we're going to be moving back quite a bit, kind of kill some of the momentum here in our opening drives. It's now 2nd and 19, close to the 40-yard line. Plummer's going to drop back again, and he wants it all to Boston, who has it. He was in double coverage, but it looks like both Lions defenders were lost out there, and he is able to haul that one in and brought down close to the goal line. So we got a goal-to-go situation here after a clipping call sends us way back to about the 40. Huge pickup here. As I was saying a couple plays ago, Plummer's had a fairly decent season here with us as we continue to watch that develop. We go to the I formation to give it to Jones here and try and knock this one in, and he gets stood up at the line but falls forward to give us our first touchdown of the day in front of our very, very empty stadium. Now we're going to bring out Grammatica to try and knock this one through to make it a 7-0 lead here against Detroit here at home. And he does just that. So with just 2 minutes here, we were able to go down the length of the field in just 7 plays and bring this one home. And Harrington is going to find Stewart, though, on first down for the Lions. He's got nothing but room here. Wayne Starks tries to make the tackle and gets shaken off. James Stewart is just throwing everybody he can off. Is there a single Cardinal defender that can bring him down? Jeez Louise, as he is wide open out of the flat. That was a great read, I guess. It wasn't even much of a read. He didn't even have to read anything. He just had to see his man open, and Joey Harrington did just that. So on one play, the Lions are very deep in our territory. They're going to go with the fullback here, who finds a little bit of room, and gets brought down by the 20. Huge defensive breakdown on just one play for our Cardinal defense. What are we doing? Joe Harrington's going to drop back, and we had a linebacker right there in position. I guess just wasn't paying attention, but that ball is dropped, fortunately. So it is 3rd and 8 now for the Lions offense. They come out in the I formation here. What can they do here to capitalize off their first big play of the game? Joey Harrington's got all day to throw, and he flips that one out short to the marker, and that one is well defended by our defense. So it's 4th and 8. They're going to bring out Jason Hanson, the GOAT, who knocks that one straight down the middle. Could have made it from 50 if he wanted to, but that one was just 38 yards. So the Lions cut the lead to 4 now. So on our answer back here, we go to Jones. He's got a little bit of room outside, trying to outrun some defenders. Breaks another tackle. This is what I'm talking about here. He's extending these plays a little bit. Didn't have much room off of the broken tackle, but it doesn't matter because he got the first down and maybe about a yard or so more. So 1st and 10 now. As we continue moving, we're going to go with Jones again because it keeps working. There was a little bit of room on that play, but not too much. So it's going to be 3rd and 6 we're going to cut to now as Plummer's going to drop back in the shotgun formation, look over his options. We find Boston across the middle. Plummer was not on the money there, and David Boston tried making a pretty spectacular grab, but no cigar. So it's 1st and 10 with the Lions heading the other way now. They're in the offset eye. Harrington's going to drop back, and the pressure's getting to him, but he floats that one out and finds Akeem, I believe, way deep down in Cardinal territory. An amazing grab. So it's 1st and 10 now, deep in Cardinal land. As Harrington's going to send a man in motion. They're going to go with Stewart here on the handoff. He's got a little bit of room. And Stewart's a pretty strong back, a nice bounce back, but I think he's got a little bit more power, but he couldn't break out of that tackle and extend it for more. So it's going to be 2nd and short for the Lions. As Harrington's going to go with Stewart again, and this time he's got a good window by his O-line, shaking off tackles and finding some extra room. He's once again surrounded by Cardinals who can't seem to wrap him up and bring him down. Are we going to need to address tackling here? We're just going to go strictly for a tackle draft based, strictly based off that one attribute. The Lions offense is now working here. They got a 1st and goal now. It's a long 1st and goal as they're snapping this one from about the 8 or 9 yard line. And Joey Harrington's going to drop back, and he's going to look over his options, and he finds Akeem in the corner who hauls it in and toe drags along the chalk to get that one good and fair. And Jason Hanson's going to send in the extra point, and so the Lions are going to take a 3-point lead now as our offense stalled out last time. As the first quarter comes to a close here, we've got 1st and 10, about one more play to run, and Plummer's got all day to throw. He's going to take all day, and he flips it out to Jenkins, who looks like he had it in and out of his hands. He was tied up pretty well there by the defender, but still had a chance to catch that and didn't. So after one here, the 4 and 8 Lions are sitting 3 points on top of us here. And looks like our Cardinal faithful have seen enough for this year. Even though we still have a winning record and can make it to the playoffs, they're done. They've given up. 3 straight losses, we're done. We're not supporting this garbage anymore. As Plummer's going to drop back and float that one out to Boston, who's got it. And he is also pretty well defended there. But he has had his number all day as he hauls in another contested catch and this one's for a whole bunch of yards, so we are now cooking here in Lion territory. We're going to go with Jones, try to redirect on the run there because there wasn't much doing on the right side, but not much doing. There's not a whole lot of room to work with regardless. So 2nd and 9 now. Plummer's going to drop back and see what we can do here. We float this one across the middle, and our receivers get tangled up there. It looks like David Boston and maybe Sanders got caught up running across the middle, so nothing there. So 3rd and long now for the Cardinals. Plummer's going to drop back. He's got a good bit of time. And again, we try to float this one across the middle, but unfortunately, that pass is not on the mark again. So 4th and 9, we're going to try and bring out Grammatico. Our field goal kicking has not been on par. We didn't get a good kick on this one. Got the power here, but the direction is not there as that one sails way left, and our kicking woes continue. It's not Grammatica's fault. It's my fault because I'm bad at kicking. So the Lions are going to head the other way as we come up empty on our 2nd straight drive, and they go with a short run play here for a couple of yards. So Harrington's going to try and float this one through the air, and he does just that as he finds the big fullback, the GOAT there. But hold on, Joey Harrington is injured, and let's put a pin in that. So the Lions are going to go with Mike McMahon, I believe, as their second. He's also a young quarterback. I think the Lions must have drafted in 01 or maybe even in 2000. He's on the rosters here in these early Madden games. He's not terrible. I mean, I think he's like a mid or high 70s, so it's about where Jake Plummer is. So the Lions should be okay off of that big gain. So it's 2nd and short now. Can the Lions punch it through to get another first down as they work closer and closer to our end zone? And they find an unnamed tight end, Mr. 83, as he's going to be known today, across the middle. He gets the pickup here. And boom, there you have it. Joey Harrington, a fractured hip, career ended. It's done. It's over with. I didn't even notice that when I recorded the game initially. And I haven't checked the injury reports or anything to see if that's like legit. Like he's like out of the game now. He's just done. Like my Cardinals save has no Joey Harrington for the rest of the time now. Maybe if you know more about those career-ending injuries in these old Madden games, how legally binding they are, and if Joey Harrington's just dead now, he's gone. But it looks like the Lions' rebuild's going to take a little bit longer as we have sidelined Joey Harrington for the rest of his life. But it doesn't seem to matter because James Stewart is the man, bro. He's a grown man. He's got hair on his chest. He breaks about 73 tackles, and still somehow I don't think gets to the first down marker, but God, if that run didn't look really cool. Try and bring some attention away from the fact that Joey Harrington now has to sell insurance, most likely. So 2nd and inches, they're going to go with, I think, the backup fullback. That's who that is, who finds some room on the O-line to wiggle up into the end zone and take now a 9, potentially 10-point lead. And, of course, it's a 10-point lead because Jason Hansen does not miss. So we're going to need to do something here with less than 2 minutes in the first half to go. Plummer's going to flip across the middle to Boston. Has to come back over the first down marker to make the catch, but he's able to drag a couple defenders past to give us a Cardinal first down. And that was Sean Rogers, the big defensive tackle way back there, making that tackle. I don't know what he was doing out in coverage, but okay, I guess. So that's going to be a 1st and 10 now as the clock is running. We got a long way to go here as Plummer's going to drop back. And the pressure is on, and it gets to Plummer, but thankfully he gets rid of that, and that one falls safely into the dirt. Dangerous play here. I don't know what our O-line was doing. A bunch of Olay blocks as Plummer's going to drop back now. And we got more pressure in our face, and that's another ball that's not on the mark. I don't know what is going on with Plummer. Maybe it's because I said he was having a good season. I think that's probably what it was. So 3rd and very long now. We got to try something here. And we find Sanders in double coverage, who makes an amazing grab and gives us some life here at the end of the first half. Good amount of time to throw here, and that's what happens when you got time to throw. You can find your man split between 2 defenders. Way to fit it in that window. Jake Plummer's really just making me eat my words, both good and bad. So 1st and 10 now for the Cardinals. We got a little over a minute here. We're going to try and float this one for Boston for the home run ball, and that one is batted around. He actually did have it for about a half a second, but he drops it. You can see here. Yeah, that one was batted. I think he had it coming down, but the animation he was in, it wouldn't allow. So we got a minute and 9 seconds left here. It's 2nd and 10. Can we do something? We try and float it out there to, that might have been Jenkins, I think. Out the curl, I guess, towards the line, but he cannot haul this one in. So it's 3rd and 10, and we're going to float this one to the left side and find Sanders, who does haul it in and falls just into the end zone, about an inch in into the turf there, the end zone turf. And Grammatic's going to send that one through, and now we have brought this game within a manageable deficit. We're only down by 3 now. It's our first bit of points since our opening drive here at the beginning of the game. We gotta get away from doing that. I think it was a similar situation in our last few games. I mean, it's been happening all season, I think. So, with just a minute left to work in the half, what can the Lions do? Will they add some points here and have us in the locker room crying, or will they just take us into the half? It looks like in the shotgun formation they're going to try and do something here as McMahon's going to drop back, and he finds Crowell across the middle. It's Jermaine Crowell who cuts up field and gets about a first down, I believe. He might have been a couple inches short. And the Lions are going to call timeout here. They might think that they got something working here. So McMahon's going to send him into motion, then drop back. He's got a good bit of time to throw, and you find Schroeder, the tight end, on the left side, who gets brought down before the markers. And that's the second timeout. With just 45 seconds, you'd think the Lions would just take that knee and take the lead into the locker room, but no, they want more here out of the I formation. McMahon's going to drop back, take his time, and he finds that unknown receiver, Mr. 83, across the middle. He was in an island surrounded by Cardinals, but no one was on him and covering him, so he's going to haul that one in. And now the Lions have fairly decent field position here with just about 30 seconds left in the half. I think they only have one timeout, though, so they're going to have to be smart here with what they're trying to do, unless they're just going to let this clock go. And they're going to try and run the ball now. I guess they ran the hurry up and let the clock just continue to go, and they handed that one off. Maybe they're trying to center up the field goal because Jason Hansen's automatic. And is he automatic again? No, he is not. Just a little bit too far for Jason Hansen's leg. Maybe in Madden 05 or 06 he's hitting that one, but in Madden 03 it's not happening. So we're going to have a chance here before the half ends, and I tried to send Boston, but the pressure got there, and Plummer threw a little pooch pass or whatever that was, and that one fortunately safely fell to the ground. So the first half is going to end with the Lions holding a 3-point lead, and there you see our halftime stats. It's a fairly even game. The Lions have had a little bit more success, though, on offense, even though the stats are a little bit closer. It really does feel like the Lions have found a way to embarrass us, offensively at least, even without their star rookie quarterback, Joey Harrington, who's already put in his application to sell insurance. As the Lions go with Jonathan Stewart on the ground, and we have that one pretty well covered up. Stewart's been running all over us a little bit all game, and we were able to contain him pretty well there. So 2nd and 10, McMahon's in the shotgun formation. He's going to hand that one right off to Stewart again, who's going to go straight up the middle, and there's not much room to work with. So 2 straight run plays, go right to the line and right to nowhere. So 3rd and line for this Lions offense. What can they do here to do something out of the second half? And they float that one out to the line. I think that was Crowell again. It was. Who tried to make a miraculous grab, but that is like a 74 overall QB. He's not making that throw, I'm telling you. So we just went off to Sanders, and again we are bit by our offensive line. The discipline. Where is it, guys? Come on. 2 penalties on our O-line in one game. It's rare for us to get penalized, but it happens there. So a holding call is going to bring us further back and wipe away that fairly good run that we had from Jones as Plummer sails that one into the dirt. Another inaccurate pass from Plummer. So 2nd and 16, we are in shotgun formation. We need a lot of yards. Can we get a lot of yards? And we're going to float that one to Boston across the middle. Try and make this one more manageable as he hurdles a guy and then gets brought down by the big linebacker. So it's a little bit more manageable as we're at 3rd and 5. We're still going to try and float this one through the air, see if we can't get the rest of it. And we can, as Jenkins brings this one down at about the 45-yard line. We're getting closer and closer to the Lions' territory here. We got to get something working on offense. The Lions gave us a good opportunity by screwing up their first drive. So we're going to go with Jones here. He's going to float to the right outside, and he's got a little bit of room and is brought down by some Lions defenders. Trying to get this run game involved a little bit more as we go to the left. And this time, Thomas Jones is breaking a couple more tackles, and he has room, and he cuts up field and gets another solid gain for us. So things are working. We're going to keep running because it's working. So we're going to go with Jones again. Gets caught up in a whole mess of traffic. Kind of wiggles his way through and get about maybe 3 or 4. So not completely nothing, but not really good. So it's 2nd and 8. We're going to go through the air this time now as the Lions are keying on the run. And we find Boston, and again in his hands, but he drops it in the end zone. That was a solid play, but I think Light is that defender's name who broke that one up. So it's 3rd down now, and Plummer's going to flip this one, sidearm that to David Boston across the middle, who's all alone, running across the middle. He's going to cut up field and get another solid gain for us, brought down by about the 20-yard line, as we are knocking on the Lions' door now to try and get some points. We're going to go with Jones again to the right side, because he loves attacking that right side. Has some room, but not much. So 2nd and 6, what can we do? We're going to float to the middle, and in the whole mess of congestion, somehow a Detroit Lion comes down with this. Another unnamed player here, another unnamed safety, bites on that route and really kind of nails it. I think the problem was I threw it to Sanders, and we had a tight end in the way, but, I mean, this is Madden 03, so obviously that AI is not going to pick up on that, and so the Lions were able to get a pretty big defensive turnover here as we were knocking on their door, trying to add some more points, and they're going with Stewart again, who's breaking more tackles again, and he's giving us a hard time again, because we are not good against the run, ladies and germs. If you don't believe me, just watch the Raiders game. Jeez. 2nd and inches, they're going to go with Stewart again, who's got a little bit of room, but it closes up quickly as he is brought down just a few yards past the marker. So 1st and 10 as this third quarter continues to tick down to a close. McMahon's going to send a man in motion and drop back, looking over his options, scanning, and he floats one out to Schroeder, who somehow hauls that in. He was covered pretty well by our defender there, but unfortunately he comes down with it. So it's 2nd and short now. Lines are in the eye here. We're expecting them to run it straight into our mouths, and they don't as McMahon drops back and tries to find Hakeem on the left side, but he's not on the mark. So it's 3rd and short. We got to play tight here. We got to contain the line of scrimmage, and we don't. As Storta gets a little bit of room here and works up the field and grabs the Lions another 1st down. And that will bring the third quarter to a close as the Lions' 17-14 lead still holds. We got to get some points here because neither team seems to want us to play any offense. So it's 1st and 10, heading the other way now in the 4th quarter. And out of the flat, McMahon's going to try and find Stewart, who again was wide open, but he did not have his hands with him from the intermission. So 2nd and 10, McMahon's going to send another man in motion, and this time they're going to go with a handoff. He can hold on to the ball if you just put it straight into his arms. And he's going to work upfield there. As Kwame Lassiter, our free safety, is injured. Hopefully he's not too badly hurt like Joey Harrington is. So 3rd and short now. The Lions are going to try to convert, and they're going to go Stewart to the outside, but we are all over that one, baby. You're not going to get us on the outside. You can maybe attack our D-line all game long if you want, but we got cornerbacks and safeties on the outside. They're not going to let it happen. They're not. So the Lions are going to have to punt this one back, and now we have a chance to maybe add some points as we go with a fullback handoff to try and throw him off, and Makiovica gets a few yards. And now Plummer's going to hand this one off to Jones, who has a lead block there and tries to get it to the outside, but the Lions had too many defenders that we could not contain, so we get brought down right on the marker for a 1st down. And Plummer's going to drop back, and now the pressure's in his face again, and this time we cannot escape it. And there he is, Sean Rogers, the big guy himself. Finally gets to the quarterback for the first time today, and it is a huge sack. So we're going to try and get some of this back as we float this one out to Sanders. And, yeah, it's not there. Double coverage, it's not there. So 3rd and 21, can we salvage this drive, please, for the love of God? We go for David Boston. He's double covered. It's not happening. It's just not happening. And another Cardinals offensive drive just ends in complete and utter chaos, as the Lions now are getting pretty good field position now to try and add to their lead with just 3.5 minutes left to go. And they're going to hand it off to Stewart, maybe try and eat up some clock here by just running, because we have that one covered pretty well. So 2nd and 10, and again, we got Stewart covered well in the backfield. So looks like the Lions might just be trying to play some keep away now and just walk away with the win, as they've got the clock down to about 2 minutes. And Stewart runs that one up the middle and has a little bit of room, but we still hold it pretty well and bring up 4th down for the Lions. So we're going to let that 2-minute warning act as a timeout, and now we have 2 minutes to try and score and win this game. We find Boston across the middle, who's got some room there, maybe a couple blocks, and he gets brought down. And now we are moving. We got to be smart here and kill enough time so if we do score, we're not going to let anything happen. If you've seen the Northwestern series, you know I've had an issue with that. And we find Boston way downfield on a massive grab. That is the deep guy I was looking for this entire time. Pause. As we get a humongous gain. Thank you to David Boston. Look at that. There's like 4 or 5 lines there, bro. Didn't matter. 2nd and 10 now we're going to cut to with just a minute and some change left to go in the game. And there it is. What were we looking at? What were we looking at? As Walker's still going, our linemen cannot catch up. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. No one is getting there. Pick 6. Brian Walker, 78 yards to the house as a bad decision, an inaccurate throw. Everything that could have went wrong there did. We had some guys there, but there were more Lions. I don't know. Even watching it again, I'm not sure what I saw or what really happened. I think I'm just trying to block it out of my memory, much like this time in Lions history. So the Lions take a 10-point lead again with just a minute and some change left to play in the game. I think our goose is just about cooked, boys, unless we can get a miracle here and somehow get the ball back. But it looks like that fourth straight loss is imminent as the Lions capitalize on 2 interceptions from Jake Plummer today. We're going for Boston. We want it all. He's double covered. It's not happening. And man, oh man, a game just rife with mistakes. 2 potential scoring drives ruined by a Plummer interception. And I'm saying it like it's his fault, because it is. That's the immersion part of this. And we float this one out to Sanders deep, and he has it in his hands but stumbles into the defender and drops it. How do you manage to do that? And there you see that stat line from Plummer. One of his worst games so far this season. Just really cementing that, yeah, this is my last one in Cardinal Red. Sorry, guys. But 3rd and 10 doesn't go well, so we have 4th and 10. We got to get something. Can we get anything as we float out? And we're trying to get this one to the tight end, Freddie Jones, who has it in his hands and drops it again. What can we do? We got Butterfingers. Why are you guys wearing gloves? It doesn't matter. And this one's going to go to the Lions, but they're just out in victory formation, letting the clock run, and that one will go 2-1, triple zeros, as we take our 4th straight L after starting with an immaculate start to the season. We now sit at 7-6, staring just 500 right in the face. One more game and we're right at 7-7, with our postseason odds fading further and further. Because we're not even just worried now about, division, or rather worried about conference, you know what I mean? Just being a conference. Because now our division is just chaos. There's 3 teams sitting at that 7-win mark, and 1 or 2 of them are going to finish 9-7 and probably sit higher than we are. So we really got to play strong here in our last few games to close off the season, or else things are going to be pretty disastrous for your Cardinals. As we look over the stats here, red zone scoring was horrendous for us. Just not good at all. We had the 2 penalties. That was pretty damning, but even though we did score off the first one. So, and here's Plummer's horrendous stats for the day. He did throw for 254 yards, so I guess it's something, and a touchdown. Why not? But 12 of 34 is disgusting with 2 picks. Just not great at all. Thomas Jones put 59 yards on the ground and a touchdown. There's something. David Boston with 153 yards, but Mr. Sanders had 83 yards himself with a touchdown, so I guess that's the real standout of the day. Kwame Lasser, remember when he got injured, he was out for the rest of the game, but he'll be back, unlike Joey Harrington, who will not be back. He's gone. As the Lions try to do something with their season. I think they're now 5-8. So, but looking ahead now to our next game, it's not a pretty one. We got the St. Louis Rams, division rival in the Dome in St. Louis. Again, they outweigh us in every metric. We know that. It's been the same way all season, but perhaps we can get some good vibes coming off of this losing streak and somehow usurp the Rams, who most definitely have probably clinched the West by this point. So hope to see you there in St. Louis. We're going to need all the fans we can because they've all gone as we play the Rams.